If everyone could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Denise, if you could just make note that we held an executive session prior to this meeting for labor and legal issues. All right, next on the agenda, Commissioner Evans, do we have any opening comments?
Thank you. I've got a couple. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are all in this together. Just a reminder, only questions or statements regarding an agenda item will be entertained under citizens to be heard at the top of the meeting. All other matters will be recognized during public comment at the end of the meeting. Feeling groovy. In 1966, LBJ was president and our nation was divided along many lines. On the brighter side, my wife was born, and Simon and Garfunkel released a tune most people think of as Feelin' Groovy. Well, the real title of that song is 59th Street Bridge Song. Fast forward to 1970, Nixon was president. Our nation was even more divided. And Simon and Garfunkel came out with Bridge Over Troubled Water. You see the theme here? Bridges connect people, physically and metaphorically. They help us cross divides and come together to make our world a better place. In 2021, Hurricane Ida ravaged our township, destroyed homes, roadways, bridges. Last Friday, 23 months after Ida, we came together with our neighbors at the center of the new municipal bridge to cut the ribbon on not just a throughway, but a new era of unity. We are joined by State Rep Dan Williams and County Commissioner Josh Maxwell, who marveled at our determination to get it done and congratulated us for setting an example for others to follow. Yes, an example for others to follow. Here in Callan, we're feeling groovy again. Let's keep building bridges together. Oh, what a night. I'm sure Jane has this covered under her Parks and Rec update, but we just wanted to give a huge shout out and thank you to our Callan Township Police Department and Parks and Rec for hosting an awesome event last Tuesday night. Great turnout. Great music, great food. We all had a blast. Waiting for Godot. No, we're not waiting for Godot or Guffman. In both of those stories, they were waiting for someone that would never come. In Callan, our next manager is coming. They are a reality. We're not wishfully waiting. We're searching with intention for the right fit, because there's too much at stake to rush this process. Roseanne McGrath is one of the best in the business, and she's leading the search. In the meantime, everything here is going according to Hoyle. Stay tuned. Stormy weather. We got walloped again this week, but no major damage to report. Just one suggestion. With severe storms now occurring weekly, there's a tendency to let our guard down, to normalize these risky situations, and that would be a mistake. Please don't try to drive through flooded roads. If there's a tornado warning, seek shelter. Don't tempt fate. You're not only risking your own life, but the lives of those who come to save you. Lastly, when we all work together, there's nothing we can't do. Spread kindness, everyone. Anger, grudges, resentments, they're not worth our time and energy. Compassion, empathy, peace, and love, these are what make the world go round.
Thank you, Commissioner Evans. Next on the agenda, citizens to be heard. I am looking out at the township. No hands raised here. How about Zoom world? None at this time. All right, we can move on to Township Solicitor, Ms. Camp. What do we have?
Thank you. First thing is a proposed amendment the board had asked me to put together to Chapter 29 of the Callan Code. And this chapter deals with the manager position. In light of Ms. Denny's leaving, resigning, the board took a look at Chapter 29 and had suggested that the residency requirement that is in section 29-5 be revised. So your current ordinance reads that the manager does not have to be a resident of the township at the time of his appointment, but shall become a permanent township resident within 1 year of the date of his employment as manager, unless an exception is granted by the board. The board had asked that we propose an amendment, which would have to be adopted through an ordinance process, that it would state that they need not be a resident of the township, but within 1 year of the date of employment, they must establish a permanent residence within 25 miles of the township's boundaries. So that's a simple amendment, but because it's part of your code, it has to have an ordinance hearing. So if the board's comfortable with that change, you could authorize us to go ahead and advertise this for adoption at your August 31st meeting.
All right, commissioners, any questions on this?
No.
No.
All right, and as I understand it, it is similar to what we've done with the police department as well.
I'm not sure if that's in your code anywhere.
It's in the contract.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
in the
but it's not in your
contract.
code
Yeah,
book.
we've extended the distance, so we're able to attract as many people as we can. So I'll reach out to residents. Any questions on this? None here in the township? Zoom world?
Just to clarify, this is a really bad time to ask someone to buy a house anywhere. You know, and we want to attract the best candidates we can. So,
Yeah, I think this will help with our
Yeah.
range. All right. Well, if there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion to, this is an advertisement.
This is for me to advertise it. It's a 1-week ad, so I have plenty of time to do it for your August 31st meeting.
All right.
so moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Kennedy. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion's good, 5-0. Next.
The second matter I would ask is to table, we're still working with the county to get another amendment to your contract for the VPP for the zoning ordinance. So I hopefully will have further discussions with the County Planning Commission and can present that to you at the next meeting.
Perfect.
The third item is something that Ray and I have been working on for a while. So currently, right now, in your subdivision ordinance, this is a two-part conversation or two documents in front of you. So the first is your subdivision land development ordinance does allow the township to seek reimbursement from developers and landowners who are developing their property for your professional consultants review. So the first step is if somebody submits a subdivision or land development plan, Aero Engineering as your township civil engineer reviews those plans. Sometimes you have a traffic engineer, you might have a lighting consultant. Your code does allow you to be reimbursed for those fees, and there's an escrow account that's set up. The second part of it is once a plan is approved and the construction, the development is going on, then the code, the state law and your code also allows the township to be reimbursed for your inspection fees. So you have your civil engineer go out and inspect the work that was completed and agree that the money can be released from the escrow. The municipalities handle this many different ways in terms of sometimes they don't pay the consultant bills until the developer pays them. They just forward those bills on. Cowan Township has been establishing, and Lisa can probably talk to this more than I can, but the procedure was sort of, it was being done where the township was left holding the bag and the township was being the bank. So the purpose of these amendments are to require more money up front from the developer in a cash escrow so that as those consultant invoices come in, you have money to be able to pay those bills. And it's not you're chasing the developer all the while they're getting their plan approved, they're building their building, but the taxpayers of Cowan Township are having to foot the bill for the consultant reviews and the consultant inspection fees. So this is meant to amend the sections of the SAUDO that address these these escrows, clarify that there's really two different escrows, one on the front end, which is called your plan review escrow, and one on the back end, which we're calling your inspection fee escrow. Requiring that these escrow accounts be reestablished, brought back up to the balance that they're supposed to be when they're diminished by 50%. And then again, this is all consistent with the state law. It's really just the procedure that your finance department and your code department have requested that we fine tune a little bit. One of the other things is oftentimes you'll see a developer when they go to build their development, they're required to post 110% of of the estimated cost of the completion of the improvement. So for example, when Dunkin' Donuts was being built, your engineer says, okay, well, you have stormwater management systems, your access driveway, your landscaping. They do an estimate of what that's going to cost. They come up with a figure that's 110% of that number, and they build into that number inspection fees. A lot of times, and the majority of the times, the developers post a letter of credit or a bond. So that's not liquid cash that you can actually go use to pay these consultant fees. So Ray had requested that that's fine. They can post a letter of credit or a bond for the actual cost of the improvements. But for the inspections, we're asking that they post a separate cash escrow. And what Ray had come up with Arrow's assistance in terms of like what is standard in industry, and this is where the fee resolution comes in play, is that if the estimated cost is less than $1 million, the escrow would be 3% of the estimated cost of construction. If it's greater than $1 million, it would be 6%. So that's rather than just letting them put it into their letter of credit or letting them put it into their bond, we're now going to ask that they have a separate cash escrow that's on account at the township, and then it's in that dollar figure that I just explained. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other change, which we threw on, was because it's a change to Saldo, came about as a result of one of the developments that was going on in the township where the developer wanted to build buildings up, but the fire hydrants and the water supply system had not been completely constructed. And Ray was concerned that you're going to have these wood frame buildings, or I don't even know if they're wood framed or not, but you don't want to be having vertical construction if you don't have a means to firefight. And we went and looked at the code, and we wanted to just make it absolutely positively crystal clear. So we have suggestion to amend section 13747. And this is on page 2 of the Saldo amendment, that says all fire hydrants required by an approved subdivision or land development plan shall be installed and operational prior to the construction of any buildings or structures approved by the subdivision or land development plan.
Mhm.
So Ray would be able to point back to this, say, I'm sorry, you can't build up until you've demonstrated that you have the water lines and the fire hydrants that you need for that particular development. Life safety issue.
Mhm.
So that's the other change. So this ordinance, because it's a subdivision ordinance, the state law requires a more extensive review process. It has to go to the county planning commission before you can hold a hearing, and it has to go to your planning commission before you can hold a hearing. So if you're comfortable with these edits, and I'm not suggesting it has to be tonight, but if you are, the next step would be for us to send this to the county planning commission and for us to have it on your planning commission's review for their comments.
Mhm.
And then depending on what those comments are, we would either make changes or come back to you and ask for authorization to advertise. When you're ready to advertise for the ordinance hearing, we would also then, the fee resolution does not need to be advertised. So they go hand in hand.
So you did say it would go to our planning commission first and then Chester County.
It can go at the same time. You can
Oh,
send
okay.
it, same time. Yeah. So I'm glad Adam's here so he hears it and understands the explanation of what we're trying to accomplish. Okay, thank you. So I don't know if Ray has anything to add. He's
No, I think you covered everything there. They're just, both of them are kind of important, and we recognized the change to the ordinance, when it comes to the fees, has been a concern for a while, and we've been trying to get our hands around exactly how to do it. This process, if adopted by the board, would be consistent with what CTMA does as well.
that's a good
Okay.
point. Yeah, that's a good point.
There you go. All right. Commissioners, any questions?
I just think it ought to be adopted sooner than later with all the construction that's been going on. And
Mhm. Residents, any questions? Zoom world? All right, you need
So
a
I don't
motion
need a
for this?
motion. Just as long as you're comfortable, we'll go ahead and
Are
send
we
it
all
to
in
the
favor
plan.
of forwarding this over to the planning committees?
Great.
All right, we're good to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then, Mr. President, I don't know if you need me to stick around for anything else. I'm happy to if you need me. But that was all under my report.
Just while you're here, can we talk about I know it's under additional business, but could you talk a little bit about the engagement letter with unreturner, why we need to do that?
I can't talk about that because
Okay.
I'm representing the Board of Commissioners.
No, but what?
So
why?
okay, I can speak generally.
Yeah.
In a conditional use hearing, the Board of Commissioners is the judge. You sit as the judge to determine whether an applicant meets the burden of proof.
Mhm.
And there are certain criteria in the ordinance they have to demonstrate compliance with, both objective criteria and subjective criteria. The law says that if they meet those criteria, the Board of Commissioners must approve the conditional use unless objectors or people protesting the use present substantial evidence that that particular use at that particular location will have a more negative impact than you would ordinarily see. So as that law applies to this particular conditional use, which is asking for an educational use along Lincoln Highway in the academy, the Planning Commission had a presentation and was of the belief that this is something that the Planning Commission wants to be involved in and request to be a party at the conditional use hearing, which is scheduled for August 31st. So the Planning Commission, they have the right to request party status. They have the right to request counsel to assist them to present evidence to the board, but the Planning Commission doesn't have the power of the purse. So the Planning Commission seems a little weird because, you know, you can't be hiring somebody to present evidence opposing something, but the Planning Commission can. But you have to agree that they can expend those funds to be able to use a counsel to help them in the conditional use process. So that's what they're asking for. If that makes sense.
I knew what
Okay.
it was for. I just wanted to make sure it was clear.
Yes.
And I wouldn't have articulated it as
Okay.
well as you did. So
Okay.
when we
So-
get to that, I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure.
So, and again, Ray Stackhouse and Kristen Denny were involved in the selection of this firm. This firm currently represents the zoning hearing board. They have very many land use lawyers that are very, you know, well versed in land use and conditional use and understand the process. Have served in that capacity before, so it seemed like a good fit because the township already had a relationship with that firm. So that's how that particular firm, that particular individual came to light. But I have to make sure, and you as the board have to make sure you can't prejudge the application. You have to wait until the hearing. You have to listen to what the applicant presents and you listen to what the protestants present. And based on that evidence, you know, I will help guide you on the conditional use decision. So that's why I didn't want to articulate, you know, one way or the other, whether you
Right.
do it. It's really the Planning Commission. And I think Adam understands what they're looking to do. They are coming back to the Planning Commission meeting, I think, next week because the Planning Commission had additional questions that they wanted the applicant to present. So that's what that is about.
Thank you. Yes, Tony, come on up. Name and address. All right.
I didn't understand, what was that about?
It's about a conditional use
For-
for a educational use in front of the campus in the old Bob Wagner building.
A school,
Yes.
what kind of school?
Private school. It's called the Lincoln Center. It's a private. The school currently exists today, and their location is in Audubon, which is in Montgomery County. So they are currently taking students from the Coatesville School District, and those students are being bused. The Coatesville School District has asked this particular private school to find a campus that's local so that these kids don't have to be bused far away. So they approached the academy's owner, Mr. DiDomenico, and I think he has some other partners, to utilize the old Bob Wagner building and fit out a portion of that building for their private school. So that is the conditional use application that the board will hear at 6 p.m. on August 31st.
What kind of children is it for?
You'll have to come to the hearing. Yeah, I don't want to, it's,
I mean, school buses will be going out there,
I'm not sure. It's limited
to
to,
be bused.
but they have to be bused to Audubon. If they're in the Coatesville area, I'm not sure they'll all be bused. And their application, I think, indicated between 30 to 50 students. So it's not a large school, it's a smaller
So
school.
they'll be putting school, 15-mile-an-hour school limit stuff out there?
Tony, none of those issues have been vetted yet. That's something that will have to be talked about at the hearing.
Feel free
Okay.
to attend the planning committee.
I just
Right.
wondered what it was for, thank you.
Thanks, Tony. I think that's all
Thank
we
you,
would
Chris.
need. All right. Thank you,
Oh,
Ms.
you
Camp.
too. Thank
Have a
you.
great weekend.
Yes.
Next on our agenda, Township Engineer, Carl. Welcome.
Good evening. Yes. Hello, commissioners and township reps. I have two items on the agenda, and keeping with the bridge theme, this first one is under the bridge. It's a request for the board and their consideration to award the lowest qualified bidder, Krylon Corporation, in the amount of $382,173.16 for the Geo Carlson Boulevard Stream and Bridge Repair Project involving a scour hole and embankment work.
Mhm.
Oh, that's it. Krylon.
I should add that we received 5 bids. It's in your packet. I think it's on the other side of the letter.
Mhm.
And of the 5, there were apparent low bidder. We did a typical internet search, and we contacted references. All of them were favorable. So that goes into the background of checking their prices and their references to make this recommendation.
Okay, so they are qualified. Perfect.
Yes.
This is in the amount of $382,173.16. Commissioners, any questions on this? When would they start work?
So formally now, as approved, we can issue that letter of notice of intent to them, and that's where we request their schedule. We have to get the agreement signed, we have to get some bonding documents, and we request, or we require them to provide a schedule. So nothing's been formally provided to them yet. And as soon as tomorrow, I'll call them and extract a schedule, and then I'll give everybody an update.
Okay. Ray, I see you chimed in there. Did you want to add anything?
No, I attended the pre-bid meeting. I attended the bid opening and just concur with what Carl says.
Good.
Thank you.
Public?
I had one.
Yeah,
This dollar
sure.
amount will still keep us within our
Budget,
Budget?
Yeah.
magic word.
I believe, yes, I would have to defer to Ray or maybe Lisa on if there's a line item budgeted for this.
Yes, we're still within the anticipated expenses when we got the bond to do the projects.
Excellent. Thank you, Ray.
Questions from residents? None here in the township building? Any Zoom world? All right. Entertain a motion to award to the lowest bidder, Krylon? Is that
Krylon,
Krylon?
yes.
In the amount of 382,000, blah, blah, blah.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Motion's good, 5-0. Next.
Okay, so this is in regards to the municipal bridge. You guys had your ribbon cutting. This is the last pay app. Work is done. And I'd like to take, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everybody, the township and the residents and their patience. This is a project that took a village. I would like to give a shout out to Ray. Thank you, Ray, for ushering us through, and my colleague Keith, who was construction manager, and with his involvement, we obtained success. This last pay application, Pay App 5, is a request for payment to Lobar Site Development. This final payment is in the amount of $95,519.10. This includes retainage. Work is done. This is final payment. It's worth noting, as you can see on the pay app in front of you, when you set aside the costs for the sinkholes in one of the change orders and what we had to deal with when we drew the water down, there's a $1,500 credit. I think that's pretty good.
All right.
Excellent. Thank
That's what we
you.
like to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Commissioners, any questions on this one? Residents?
I have a question.
Yes.
We have a
Have
question.
we addressed the safety issues with the guardrails that are actually on the side of the bridge? But there's a gap between them that like a small kid could like just ease their way through, or even an adult, a small adult. But I noticed on some of the other bridges throughout the township, they're like kind of attached to the bridge wall so that you don't have that open gap there for someone to fall on
Right.
rocks.
Those end treatments, there were some alternatives too. The one that had the gap, I think we closed it, but I'd like to check and confirm.
I didn't see it close today, and there's just not one. There are probably 4 that I can remember seeing, and they're nice gaps that children, or like I said, small teenagers, they can just jump right through there. I was surprised to see that left unattended like that. That's a liability issue.
Well, we-
Something to
we-
do with
we-
who owns the property
Who owns the property? It's in our
away
jurisdiction.
from, in that gap.
But all the other bridges have like attached, guardrails
Yeah.
to the bridge so that you don't have that open gap.
Right, there are speed restrictions and standards for if you're coming up to this immovable object and how things are left. Guide rails in the ground, guide rails that are curled, or guide rails that are attached to bridges. I think our intention was to keep with the look that was there before,
Well,
so,
it's walking, it's when you're walking across the bridge.
mhm.
And like I said, if you have a small kid in your hand and they just accidentally break away from you and they're gone. And it's on both sides of the bridge.
Okay, I'll have to.
It's very dangerous. It needs to be addressed immediately.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take it back
Yep.
and
Mhm.
get a better answer and reply back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Carl.
Yeah, I know.
All right, any other residents, questions? Okay, entertain a motion to approve final payment for application number 5 to Low Bar Site.
So moved.
Moved,
Second.
moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Young. All in favor, say aye.
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 That's 4 and 1 abstain.
Okay.
Okay. Carl, thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it.
All right. If you can, get back to us about,
back in-
Jane's concerns
you.
there.
Yes.
Thank you, good evening.
Thanks.
right.
A good one, man.
Have a good weekend. And next, we have, minutes to approve. We have the July 13th minutes. Commissioners, any questions, changes? If not, entertain a motion to approve.
I just was going through the 13th and something caught my eye. I want to go back and check it. That one I'd like to table.
Okay. All right. And next, we have, minutes to approve for July 27th, Board of Commissioner. Changes, additions, anything needed? If not, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Kennedy. All in favor, say aye.
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 Minutes have been approved for July 27th. Next, we do have the tabled ordinance. Commissioners, any interest on untabling it this time around?
We're close. We're getting closer.
Okay.
I think I found some language in some other ordinances, food truck ordinances that I think are a little more, come here and do business with us.
Okay.
So I think that probably at the August 31st meeting, we might be able to get through that.
Okay.
That's kind of consistent with. So we're gonna table both of them.
Yeah, we'll table both of
Right.
those. And hopefully we don't drag them out.
Yeah, no, I
Here.
want that thing.
So, all right. Next we have, Finance Department, Ms. Swan. Lisa, how are you this evening? Good, is that on?
Like that.
If the mic.
There we go.
Mic working?
Did you want to start off with the bills, list number one?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it. Payable list, check run 50,520 to 50,624 with a manual check of 293. Any questions on those checks? Not, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Tendero. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Next on the agenda is to ask the board for approval to authorize myself as the signer or authorized signer, or excuse me, authorized temporary trustee for the Delaware Valley plans that the township is currently with. That would include the two that we are members of, which is Delaware Valley Health Trust and Delaware Valley Workers' Compensation Trust. They also requested that we add the Delaware Valley Property and Liability Trust. Right now we're with Brown and Brown, but should that change in the future, in the interim, without the township manager, we wouldn't have to revisit that. So they asked that we named all three of those plans. So we're just asking for the board's approval to authorize me.
Are
As
they
a-
up for
as a-
renewal, or they are in good standing? I mean, when do they actually, expire, the contracts for these? Are they up for
No,
renewal?
No, this is pretty much just to have her sign because Chris and Denny's not here.
Okay.
We're missing a manager. That's all. And so until we have an interim manager or actual manager,
Right.
then it would just
Oh,
be
I thought it
transferred
was
over.
something that had to be
I don't think the
a new
health insurance
contract or
has
anything.
we get new rates, but we don't have an expiration date with them.
No,
Correct.
Yeah.
so it's no new
Yeah.
contracts.
All right. Questions? Any other questions, commissioners? Become, residents, any question? Tony, if you have a question, come on up.
Is there two signatures on that check? That when you sign the check, somebody else sign it beside you?
There's a live and a stamp,
A what?
a live signature and a stamped.
A stamp. Is there somebody else's name beside yours?
And these aren't
Well, this
checks,
is not a
Tony.
check.
This is just health insurance
This is
and
just-
liability insurance.
It's not checks.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with monetary. It's just to review any plans, be able to vote after I bring the information to the board, should there be anything to vote on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The actual checks for the township are signed by the board. One member of the board signs over a certain amount, then two signatures are required.
signatures.
Right.
Okay. All
So-
right, thank you.
Yeah, the board signs all checks.
Yes, yeah, every check.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. All right. Any other residents with, questions? All right, entertain a motion to, approve and authorize.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kennedy, second by Commissioner Tenero. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0.
Thank you.
Next.
Moving on, requesting consideration of the township's participation in a municipal consortium to retain Cohen Law Group to renegotiate the township's Verizon franchise agreement, which expires April of 2026. This is also spearheaded by the East Bradford Township Manager. She did that with Cohen and, of course, the other members of the consortium to renegotiate this. We were members of that consortium with the previous franchise agreement, which you should have in your packet there. They do request that about 10 months ahead of time, this goes back to negotiation. So we should be right in line with an April 26th expiration date. So we're just asking the board to consider approving the consortium along with Cohen Law Group to go ahead on our behalf.
Yeah, if I read, they like to get about a 3-year head start on this. That's
Yeah.
why,
Yeah.
it's expires in 2026
Yeah.
and they wanted to,
Yeah, what I say, 10
Get-
months.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so it is, yeah, it's 3 years away, but they like
3
to
years
get started right away. And we've done this before. All right, so, board, any questions on this? All right, residents, any questions? I do not see any here in the township. None online. All right, entertain a motion to, participate in the municipal consortium with, retain, and to retain Cohen Law Group for the renegotiation of Verizon franchise agreement.
So moved.
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Tendero, second by Commissioner Young. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0. Next.
Thank you so much. Next, I'm going to ask Nicole Shannon, our general manager for Ingleside, to help me out here with this one. But we'd like to request consideration to approve an order for from Turf Equipment and Supply Company for a Toro Multi-Pro 5800 sprayer as a pre-approval for our 2024 capital budget for Ingleside. The amount right now, if we put the order in, is $66,910.08. and we would like the board to authorize that as a pre-approval for 2024.
Okay. And my understanding is that this is like 6 to 9 months out for delivery. That's why we're trying to
At
get a
the
jump
very
on this.
least,
Yeah.
which is typical for all vendors selling equipment, trucks, vehicles, anything. It's delayed half a year to
Mhm.
but which means if I want to use it next year, which I'd like to, or I need to, I'd have to order it now, and hope that production goes smoothly and I can get it this time next year, or before spring.
Mhm.
So this is to replace our old sprayer, which is 12 or 13 years old, being held together by ropes and I don't know, there might be some duct tape on there somewhere.
I'm thinking bubble gum
Yeah.
Putting it together.
and love.
Yeah, efficiency wise, this would blow the old one out of the water.
Mhm.
It would save us a ton of money in chemical usage and time. It's a bigger tank where I can spray almost 5 acres with one tank versus 3 with the current tank if it doesn't break down in the middle of those 3. So that's what that machine does.
Okay.
It would also help us. I don't know if it was mentioned. It would also help us be able to help out in the parks for our wildflower conversion.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Abby was mentioning this. Yeah.
It's a good machine for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So all around a great piece of machinery from a great vendor who I want to establish a relationship with now. Because we're going to need things from them in the future.
And is this just outright 66,000, or is it spread out several years, or?
Lease options.
Yeah, lease option, it's a 2 to 3 year.
I
Is
think
it
there's a 3 year
3
and a
year
4
and a
year
4 year?
lease option. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe it's the 18,000.
Oh, yeah, 18 and
4 years
22
would
or
be
something?
18,005.
Right, that's
Yeah.
for leasing.
Okay.
There's only 2 lease options, and whatever fits, we've got to just make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, leasing would be at least 5. I think it's $1 buyout. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a machine that you can't find used because people buy them and they never give them up. They're just a great machine.
Well, we have one to give up, right?
I want my bubble gum back first.
Yeah, we would probably have to pay someone to take that. It's not worth the
Oh, wow. All right, well, I think you've sold us, but let me ask the board. Any questions on this? That doesn't look like it. Any questions from residents? Not here in the township building, and in Zoom world. All right, let's make it quick. All right, entertain a motion to approve for this piece of equipment she desperately needs.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, good to go.
Thank you.
All right, next. You have
While you're shopping.
yeah, while you're shopping, you have a mower here.
Oh.
Yes, one.
Yeah.
Blue light special at the
He's
board
having a little bit
line.
more fun than I am, but it's okay. It's okay. We're all in this together, right?
That's right.
Yes, so we would also like the board to request for consideration to approve to order a Finch Turf Lastic XR 700T tow behind 132-inch rotary mower as part of this year's 2023 budget for Ingleside. The amount is $29,819.55, and you might want to go into a little bit of detail with that.
Sure, this is a pull behind mower that you hook to the back of a tractor and pull. It's 11 feet wide.
Yeah.
It's a rotary mower, 21-inch individual decks, so it floats. We have a lot of mounds and stuff, so it makes it easy to get a clean cut everywhere and do it have over 100 acres of this type of grass that we mow, and this would allow us to mow the grass twice a week, giving golfers a more enjoyable time because the grass won't be overgrown, and also speeding up the pace of play, which will allow us to pack in more and more rounds of golf. People are losing their balls because we can't mow everything at 81 inches of time. We have to close the driving range to mow it because it takes so long. Just slow 81 inches at a time, where we can go at 11 feet at a time and just bust it out real quick, open the range back up, and keep making money. We have the tractor. We invested a lot of money repairing the tractor. We just got to get it some implements to use. One of the reasons it was broken down so bad was it just wasn't used. Right now we have a blower for it, a spreader for it, and a mower would be amazing. It would be used all week.
And I believe the delivery time on that is 2 to 3 weeks.
They have this one is in stock in Connecticut. It would be here 2 to 3 weeks.
That's worth it.
Yeah, they're reliable. This is Finch. We've used Finch plenty in the past.
Mhm.
They're a reliable service department, and we've had luck with them. So I consider 2 different machines, and this is the one.
We have the money in the golf fund budgeted for this year already.
We do, barring that the golf carts hang in for another week or two, and aren't delivered. We should be able to do that. We took off the range unit as well, so that should make up the balance of the 19 or 29,000.
Yeah, this is some in-house repairs to some of the equipment that we have, so we didn't even make a purchase like the range cart. So that we probably kicked that down the road 5 years, which is nice. It will allow us to get something more needed today. Just that we got people behind.
I,
11 people behind.
Amazing.
I think it's important to say
Down
too
to
that
manpower
with
too,
all of the new equipment that Nicole was able to secure for us, and also more importantly put in a maintenance plan where this equipment, if it has a life expectancy of 15 years, I know she's going to push it to 17 years. So it's a win-win all around, saving time, money, everything I like to hear as the bean counter. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's a great point. Our preventative maintenance program didn't exist, and now it does. I keep very organized, detailed reports of hours used, when things are oil changes are due. We do it all in house. We do all the services in house because we don't have a mechanic. It saves us a ton of money if we can keep track of it all and do it ourselves. Machines are washed daily, which is also a great simple preventive maintenance thing. No corrosion anywhere. So our equipment is going to look great for the whole life expectancy.
How wide is this mower?
7 feet, yeah.
I wouldn't believe
11
it.
feet. Wow.
11 feet wide.
Its amplifier goes to 11.
Wow. Well, and the fact that you brought this up too, because as you know, I received a concern about the golf course today through an email,
Yeah.
which I forwarded to you guys. Did you guys also receive one?
Yes.
From, and one of the concerns is the overgrowth of the
Absolutely.
and the fact that they can't find their balls, which you had mentioned. This should solve the issue.
No, it absolutely will.
Of course, if they hit it on the green, it would.
It'll also, yeah, true. Don't miss the fairway. But it also, it frees up an entire person. I mean, that's 2 mowers.
Yeah.
It frees
Yeah,
up an
2
entire
employees,
person to
yeah.
do something
Oh,
else,
that's
focus on one of the other concerns. I mean, our concerns are never going to end. We want the place to look perfect. And there's always something to improve on. And the more I can free up a person, the better. And an 11-foot wide machine frees up a person.
How
That's
wide
about
is it?
3. That's about 2 sneaker sizes.
Well, you sold us.
Yes. I just have a question. Do they both pieces of these equipment, do they come with like warranties, or do we have to buy protective, extended?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We have all those details. I don't have them yet.
Right.
But we will have them.
Sometimes I know you can get extended, warranties
Yeah,
to make
we'll
sure
have-
that it
we'll
goes
have that option
beyond the
after.
12
Yeah.
months they want to give you
Mhm.
when everything starts falling apart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of money to
Bubblegum
invest in.
Dries up, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Any other questions, commissioners?
No.
Questions from residents for this mower? Much needed mower. Zoom World, none? All right, entertain a motion to approve, this new cost.
So, second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. So excited about this. Mark just wants to hear it one more time. How
How
wide?
wide is this thing?
11 feet.
All right.
We're gonna hold you to that.
And Nicole, again, you're a forward thinker, and it
Yes.
really, it means a lot.
I
Yes.
appreciate that.
So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
you.
Did I do all in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
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 11. All right, you got 11 votes here. Thank you so much.
And that completes my report. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you, Lisa.
Now let's get to the
Excellent,
dessert.
Thank you.
This is the dessert, not the meat and
Right,
potatoes.
we're into the dessert.
Board and Commissioner updates. We have Park and Rec.
Again, just want to give hats off to our Calhoun Township Police Department and to the Park and Recs Board for hosting the National Night Out. It's always a pleasure to come out to, events where we can really show off and, to see the fire company out there and all of our rescue crews and emergency services and the music. I mean, it just resonated throughout the whole community down here, and people going in and out the Giant, and just some people just sit in their cars like it was a night out at the movie theater, drive-in theater, and the kids always have a good time, and there were lots of food and the fireworks. We didn't want them to stop, but it was very nice, and always proud to share the events that go on in the township, and to see the community out. That's always good. And with that said, we're preparing now for our Community Day, September 9th. And we're asking all of our businesses and small businesses and large businesses, families, friends, to come be a part of our Community Day. And you can go to our website, pick up information about how you can come and be a part, and also be blessed and enjoy the community and the families that come out, the entertainment. It's always nice. So we're looking forward to having you there, and, looking forward, just starting to plan. I mean, fall is knocking on the door. So we're getting ready to implement a lot of our fall activities for our little folks for Halloween and prepare for our spectacular Christmas events. So it's a lot going on. And again, if you're interested in being part of Parks and Recs, we welcome you to come on board. There's lots to do, lots of fun. And it's just great to see the families throughout Calhoun come together and enjoy one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. That was exciting.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
The band was amazing.
Yeah.
They were hot.
Yeah, they were really rocking it.
Saw Tom and Chris Parr up cutting the rug.
Oh, really? Cutting the concrete. That was rough.
Well, Chris was cutting the rug.
Oh, wow. And I don't have anything to report on COG. When they had their meeting, we were here having an executive meeting to move forward with the hiring process for a new manager. Thank you.
Right. And for Municipal Authority, just a quick update. Gilmore is currently assembling the bid documents for an anticipated bid opening of November 2023, and this is for the 2024 grouting project. The contractor for the 2023 grouting project is estimated to start the work on August 21st, and that'll perform the Phase 5 mainline cleaning and the TV and grouting project. So, and last, the contractor for Furmore, which is my place, is currently completing all the CTMA testing requirements prior to the line becoming active. Final road restoration will be completed late this summer. That was that shutdown for 10 days on 322. That was for our sewer pipe. Right, and for Dara, the future expansion, Dara board is continuing to review the options related to the draft concept plan for the treatment plan upgrades that will be necessary to properly provide for the additional 1 million gallons of treatment capacity currently sought out by the 5 municipalities. DARA requested NTEC engineers to submit a proposal to perform the necessary financial investigations as it relates to the funding of the proposed expansion and upgrades. And with Hurricane Ida, how that affected DARA and the wastewater treatment plant, they are continuing to work with FEMA and PEMA in obtaining the final payments related to the flood. All right, that's all I have for DARA. Fire Board, we did not meet since our last meeting, so no update there. And Historical Commission.
Thanks. Hi, yeah. The Historical Commission has not met since our last update 2 weeks ago. However, Dawn Coughlin, Tom Parr, and I did meet with Laura DiMatteo, Sally Ann Warren, and Joe Shanley at the County Planning Commission, as well as another meeting with Ray and Abby here at the township to dissect the July 20th town tour. The county were extremely pleased. Both Chester County Planning Commission and Ray agreed with that. We didn't quite expect as many visitors as we had. We had 307 come through, which I'll say it again. They've been doing this 10 a year, except for the COVID years, 10 a year since the 90s. That was the 8th highest attendance they've had. And it was a new record since COVID.
And they did turn people away.
And they had to turn people away.
Wow.
And there were some people who were not happy about that. But yeah, we agree that we weren't expecting as many as we had. And should something like this happen again, we should consider having advanced reservations for future tours to make sure that there's a point where people know there's a good shot they won't get onto a bus. We also discussed potential parking options. Overall, the tour was considered to be a great success for the township and for the county. Did I miss anything? Our August meeting will be next Wednesday, the 16th at 7 p.m. You can join us right here live or from home via Zoom. We'll be reviewing as a group the Spackman Farm tour and discussing our 2024 budget request. We're a fun group who like getting things done. Please consider coming to one of our meetings. And if you don't join us, join Parks and Rec, because we do a lot of things with Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And the more people are in Parks and Rec, the more can be done in this township, because right now it's Abby and 3 of her friends. But really, there's 5, and they're the ones. I mean, we don't have all these great things year round for free without Parks and Rec, and they need our support. So get on the phone right now, call before midnight tonight, and tell all your friends to get over to Parks and Rec. That's it. Thank you.
We're gonna
Thanks,
have a
Mark.
sign-on bonus soon.
Next, Lincoln Highway.
Myself, Adam, and Mark did meet. We set a date. We're reaching out to people to reformulate the group. We're also reaching out to the Chester County Economic Development Council. So once we meet next month, I'll have a better report.
Sounds good. Ingleside Golf Course.
Ingleside Golf Course. Lots going on. We are in the black. That's good news. A lot of work is being done, as we heard this evening. We're getting and hoping to get a new sprayer, as well as a new mower to help make the grounds more beautiful than what they are. Membership is coming along. The carts hopefully will be coming in 1 to 2 weeks. So we're looking forward to that. That's a big thing. Busy time is mostly on the weekends up till about 5:30. The golf course does need people. Inside, outside, applications are available at the clubhouse. Our next meeting, I will be sending a notice out, will be Monday, August 28th at 5:45 at the golf clubhouse. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. Good plug for looking for some good help.
Thank you.
Yes, Adam.
Remind us, yeah,
11 feet.
for the record.
That's good. All right. All right, and that concludes the boards and commissions. Moving on to additional business. We did discuss this prior with Ms. Camp here for the first consideration. And this is to approve just the expenditure for the board president to sign the planning commission special counsel general terms of engagement with Unruh, Turner, Burke, and Freeze. Any questions on that? No questions? Residents? Any questions? None at this time? Entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0. And next, Ray, are you here for this?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jump right in.
Apologize. Let me pull it up here. Request for board consideration to approve the president to sign the DE Gemmell proposal for the modification of a previous 2023 line striping approval in the amount of the amended amount of $18,409.60. The board probably remembers we came to the board. We solicited 3 bids for line striping across the township. We got those bids back. DE Gemmell was the lowest bidder. DE Gemmell did come out to do the line striping, and it turned out that we had a little bit of miscommunication about what lines they were painting and what that quote was. You know, it was definitely my fault. And, you know, me and Huggins then talked. We had to step back, take a look at what was bid. We reevaluated that, rebid it back out to the same 3 vendors, and DE Gemmell came back in with the lowest bid again. There are a few less roads based on what we had budgeted. The budget number actually was 18,000. I'm going over about 400 hours or requesting an additional 400 hours, but that will still get us a majority of the roads that need to be painted. So it literally was my mistake with some confusion on which lines were being painted and what that cost was.
Glad we caught it now and not later.
Yeah.
And just a $400 difference. Is that what you're saying?
No, the 400 hours is over what we
400
actually did. Yeah, what we had budgeted last year, for this year, but we have it in the funds. I mean, it's not like we're going over budget overall, so.
Oh, okay. Good. Commissioners, any questions? No questions here. Residents? None here in the township building. All right. All right, with no comments from residents, entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
So moved by Commissioner Kennedy, second by Commissioner Tendero. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0. And the second item?
Yes, it's a request of a board to consider a payment at number 1 in the amount of $53,995.50 payable to E&K Construction Services Incorporated. This was for the Geo Carlson Boulevard Emergency Retaining Wall Repairs Project. And this is for work performed up to July 31st, 2023. And I think the only remaining is retainage, I think an amount of like $6,000.
Oh, okay. So there'd still be an outstanding,
Yeah, we'll keep the retainage for a certain amount of time just to make sure that the work is up to our satisfaction.
is good. Commissioners, any questions on this?
No.
None at this time. Residents, any questions? None at this time. Entertain a motion to approve payment number
moved.
1. So
Second.
moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Tendero. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's good, 5-0. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
Ray.
you.
I had one thing I wanted to add here. Many people might not be aware of this, but as of last Sunday, Paul Mullen is no longer a quintagenarian. He's now a sexagenarian.
I better look that up. I don't know what he's saying about me.
And so we can now say happy birthday.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Oh,
birthday
boy.
to you. Happy birthday, dear sexagenarian.
Oh, God.
Happy birthday to you.
All right.
All right, thank you, everyone.
You
Sorry,
officially,
I'm
uh,
just-
in the-
I just wake up with more body aches, that's all.
Exactly. Well, at least you wake up.
All right.
All right, next, public comment.
Yeah.
Yes, Tony, come on up to the mic.
As somebody, I don't play golf, but somebody complained about the green on the golf course. They're rather dry, I guess.
Yeah.
They're looking, they need the goosenator out there.
The
You
goosenator.
know what I'm talking?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the grounds, but, okay.
But a lot of geese.
Yep.
But they complained about the green. I mean, you're gonna get someone to take care of it, that's fine. Another thing, Ray, along Route 30, there's no fence in front of the Kmart store there.
Yeah, Ray, can you hear him?
I cannot hear almost anything you say.
Yes,
let's
just
talk
hold it.
about
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Along Kmart there's no fence in front of that, either Chipotle's or Starbucks, whatever side it is, chain link fence. It's a safety hazard. I mean, you have to have a fence there. They did the same thing up at the low income housing. They had no fence there for a long time.
Tony, it's not low income
Whatever it is.
housing. It
It's
is
for people that are handicapped.
apartment
That's
buildings.
apartments.
We're going to
I-
correct that every time. I love you, but we're
And
not
are you
gonna.
talking about
Anyway, there's
along
no fence
30?
there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check it out, Tony. There was fence. It just wasn't, it was just around right where they were working, but I will check into it.
It's been going for like 5-6 days.
Okay.
So I just, it's a safety hazard.
Yep.
Either one. All right, I think that's it.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tony. Getting better at that mic.
Just want to remind
Leave it
everybody
on,
too
leave
that
it on.
Yeah.
they're going to have the grand opening of the new Dunkin' Donuts on August 26th.
Oh, really?
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you aware of that, Mr. Stackhouse? They're going to have the
Muted.
grand opening of the Dunkin' Donuts on August 26th.
Sorry, I was not aware. I did issue to you.
Yeah, they
and
seen
every
some
other-
flyers they were passing out. And they said that for the first 100 people, they were going to get free coffee for a year. So you're probably going to have a lot of people sleeping out that night.
Big concert.
For first 100, coffee for a year. And they're
Wow.
passing out flyers because I received one.
Well,
There's
Ray
one-
will be there.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there for that.
So check that out. So if anybody really likes coffee, they're going to be given free coffee for a year for the first 100 people that come to the store. So you're going to have a crowd out there that night. So
All right. Yes, we have somebody here in the
Yes,
township
yes.
building. Come on up. Name and address, please.
I'm Sue Roshan. My address is 1259 South Red Maple Way, Downingtown, but I'm in Cowan Township.
Yes.
Perfect.
You want my tax money. You have it.
All
and
right.
It's a lot.
Okay.
I'm here. I didn't know Nicole would be here tonight, and I'm so glad that I heard what she had to say because I'm a member at Ingleside.
Mhm.
I don't know if any of you are golfers. I don't know if any of you have taken the time to come out to the course, but it is a mess. Okay, and I know Nicole came behind the 8 ball. I have spoken to Nicole personally,
Mm-hmm.
and she knew I was going to attend the meeting tonight. So I am full of love, and I have a lot of notes that were a little angry. So I'm going to put them aside.
Okay.
I'm going to put this, I'm just so happy that you got the 11 foot.
11
For
foot.
11
yes.
foot,
I don't know where we still stand with the $66,000 sprayer system. I don't know if you voted on that.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
did.
did,
Yes.
It's on the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just super excited because that little golf course is a gem.
Yes, it is.
And in order for it to continue to be a gem, we do have to put some money into it.
Yeah,
Whether we
okay.
are in the black, as said tonight, we had COVID and that kept the golf course looking nice. There were fewer players, okay, less use. The more use, the more need. But at $7.50, I'm not going to work there. I've considered going behind the desk. I'm a nurse.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go for $7.50.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not going to attract anybody at $7.50, and she is going to struggle no matter what mower she gets. I don't care what equipment she gets. You are going to have a hard time finding workers. I know that the issue is paying the benefits, but we have to increase that $7.50 if we're going to help Nicole in any way. As far as membership goes, there's memberships, and then I've met a lot of people in the parking lot. I consider myself a 3-day-a-week golfer. I play
Okay.
other courses as
wow.
well,
Mhm.
but Ingleside is my go-to because I've met wonderful friends and wonderful girlfriends, and a part of Calhoun Township. There's a lot of people from this township that use it, which is so exciting to me, and meeting these people too. But I would encourage you all to at least go out and take a look at what she has to work with.
Yeah.
And if we only have 3 full-time people, I know one part-time person is already leaving, and there's one that's considering leaving. What is she going to do? And where, if we're all concerned about the revenue, okay, well then we need to
But
help
invested.
in any way we can.
need to be
Because
paid.
I saw it in 2020, and the shape of that golf course to now, it almost makes me want to cry. The greens are brown. It's like
Yeah.
putting on the earth with all of its indigenous, all this stuff. You
Sand.
can't putt. So I just decided to use it as my driving range, hit to the pin. And, you know, my concern is that the usage and how do you close off? But we could close off part of the greens that are bad and work on them and still have the course open for your revenue. But we have to give Nicole this increase of wage. Otherwise, I don't know how you're going to accomplish keeping a golf course open.
Oh, yeah. No,
And-
we actually agree, and
Yeah, we
we've
had
actually
talked
given her
about
the
that.
okay to, let's increase the rate.
Yes.
Yeah, that actually happened today. 'Cause
Yes.
lot of things have been going on.
In our defense, I spent the better part of yesterday and today doing a very comprehensive wage versus personnel summary, if you will. And I've also, reached out to other local golf courses that are basically the same category as ours, so that we can be competitive.
Right.
It's safe to say that Nicola definitely has it heading in the right direction. It's just unfortunate that when she came here, literally everything broke. So there's nowhere to go but up, which is a good thing. And I think we just got the right person in here at this point that is taking the bull by the horns and comes up with a maintenance program, has everybody on board for what she sees the golf course can be. And she has that foresight and the planning that it takes. I think I feel very comfortable in saying that we have the support of the board and everybody's on board. We all want to see it succeed. It's just that it hit rock bottom, and we're at that point where we're in a better position now, because we have the support of everybody, and we know we have a definitive plan as to what needs to happen. So
That's
I'm very confident.
That's like hot milk and cookies for me.
Oh.
Yeah,
I might
wanted to-
even take golf up.
respite tonight.
I've never swung a golf club, so there you go.
Come on out, we'll teach you.
There you
I
go.
wanted to just add,
you.
you know, when I've never, I don't think I've met you before, but when we came in, Jane, Paul, and I came in January 2020 to the board just before COVID, and we laid out our plan for, you know, what we wanted in year one, and just near close to the top of the list was the challenge to the golf course to turn it around, and they got to the black. We believe in it. I played a public course called Spring Hill with my father in the late 60s and, you know, up to the mid 70s in Jersey. I love public courses and believe this one can be more than just like the township. It could be so much more than people see it as. But you gotta believe, and you gotta take the right
Together,
steps.
yeah.
And we've all done.
Thank you.
We did a tour of it last year, so we're.
Because there is, there's just so much bad words right now at the golf course. And I saw it in the really good times, and now I'm seeing it. I don't think we're rock bottom, but when you're asking people to join, my membership went up $200 or $300 in a year, and I got worse conditions, but I've never asked for my money back or complained to Nicole. I just go out there and, you know, we play, and we say we can't putt, but I might not putt when there's a real green. So, you know, who knows? Anyway, I want to thank all of you for your support, and I'm so happy to hear that Ingleside is very important to you all.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Right.
For your
Thank
time.
you for
Thank
coming.
you.
We're hoping for those carts to be showing up. We ordered them almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll be in before the sprayer, I'm sure.
In the 2 weeks.
I hope so. Okay. Nicole, you know you're awesome.
Yes,
Yes.
you are awesome. How I was.
Everyone's gonna want to ride.
Yeah.
Know it. All right. Any other additional business, public comment? I did want to bring up one thing, and I know Jane had brought this up a while ago. I didn't want it to fall to the wayside, but you were working on like naming a street in your neighborhood,
Yes.
and it maybe not just renaming the street, but you know actually just having
It was more like
Like
a
they do in Philadelphia.
dedication sign.
yeah. So I just wanted to get back to that, and maybe Abby, if you remember the information, we can just have it presented at the next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yes.
You recall?
think
I
I
don't
fo-
know where we left off with it, but I know it's.
I was asked to find examples of other municipal policies
Mm-hmm.
and like pull together.
Right, I had a couple from the
I
city
know
of
I
Coatesville.
collected a bunch of them, but I handed them off to Kristen. I don't know where they went from there.
Mhm.
But it's really easy to do, and I did get prices from the folks that make our current street signs, and
Mhm.
you know
Mhm.
everybody's doing that, so that's easy enough too. I would probably do them in like a contrasting color, you know, just to make them look a little different
Stand
than
out a
the
little bit,
existing
yeah.
street signs. But we have lots of good examples that should be easy enough to pull together.
Okay, and I guess we just have to check with Ms. Camp how to go about
Yeah,
this.
I don't know if
do
it's
we
a-
have-
Right, because we're not renaming the street. It's actually gonna be like a dedication on the
Right.
cap of the
Yes.
cross street.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
I'm talking to Kristen tomorrow, so I will bring that
Okay,
up.
perfect.
thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks for remembering, Paul. That's-
Hey,
Did you hit the gavel?
Drop the
You
mic.
You said you hit
Yeah.
the gavel?
adjourned.
I
Hey.
thought you adjourned the meeting.
Shut up already. I'm gonna go home.
Any other public? Yes, go ahead. Oh, we had a hand raised. Go ahead.
It's gone.
I thought it said Bob.
Bob,
Was
did
it
you
Bob?
have a comment or a question? I can unmute you.
There he is.
Yes,
Right,
Bob.
there you go. Looks like you're muted.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Bob.
Yes.
Okay, I was just wondering, since we had these Zoom meetings, I noticed when people talk, sometimes I can hear them clearly, sometimes I hear every other word, sometimes I don't hear anything. Is there any device that can keep the volume constant when people talk Because I'll tell you, out in TV land, when you listen to people talk, sometimes we can hear the beginning of the conversation and then halfway through, we don't hear anything or they back up from the microphone, especially the microphone in the audience there. I noticed
Okay.
when I was there, people stand back away from it. You may hear it, but we don't always hear it.
No, understood. It's usually when Tony comes up here to speak.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He just doesn't talk into the mic, but we will insist. And I do know we've already discussed about adding 2 more to the tables here.
Well, a mic
A mic stand.
and higher quality, I think, mics as well. So
Yes.
it is an audio issue that was probably not, the right things were not ordered when this happened. So except for up here. And if you don't hear us up here, it means our mic is off.
You know, just a thought. I mean, if residents in Zoom World would raise a hand, you know, and then you can flag that and just say, okay, maybe they don't hear. Yeah. I'm just thinking of a simple solution. What do you think of that, Bob? I mean, so if Tony comes up and starts speaking and he's fading in and out, if you just raise your hand, maybe that'll just give us the signal.
Sounds good.
He still won't walk, talking to the microphone, but. You know, Bob?
They need caddies.
All right. All right. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And can I get your
Thank you.
address so Denise has that?
Yeah, Lloyd Avenue in Downingtown,
So
584.
584.
584. All right. Thank you so much. Any other public comment? All right. All right. And then I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend.